duties towards them, you relate to them, you have duties in the manner of relating to them. That has to be done. Duties towards parents, duties towards spouse, duties towards children. Even as a student, you have certain duties. What is the foremost duty? Show up to every class. Simple. That is your duty. That's why you are here. And so like these are all Swadharma. One part of it is a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it. The other part needs some discovery, some introspection. And what is that other part of Swadharma? The other part of Swadharma is seeing that it is not an accident. This again involves bringing in Ishvara. It's not an accident that I have this body. Why don't I have a body like Mike Tyson, the wrestler, Muhammad Ali? Why don't I have a body like that? Because I'm not supposed to be a boxer, I'm not supposed to be a wrestler. And so like this, each and every person, they have a certain upadhi. Upadhi means this body, mind, sense complex in which, so to speak, this consciousness reigns is called upadhi. Upa samipe sthitva swakiyam dharmam adatte. Anyan adatte. Upa samipe sthitva, staying near something, that which gives its dharma to something else is called upadhi. And our stock example is crystal. So we have a crystal, and then you put orange color, and then what do we say? New sannyasi is in town. And the whole crystal looks orange. Is the crystal really orange? No. So the orange color becomes the upadhi for this crystal, just like this body, mind, sense complex becomes the upadhi for this crystal clear Atma. So then this upadhi, this upadhi is not accidental. This body, along with all the DNA and everything, and how it will behave, and if you send your saliva to some company now, they give all these things, all the diseases that you can have. Do that only if you are ready to spend the rest of your life sleepless nights. Okay, DNA analysis, that's the in thing. Then they will say you have 36% chance of dying of a heart attack. You have 53% chance of dementia, Alzheimer's disease. And then you have 75% chance of just dying for no reason at all. So like this, it will just mess with your head. That's all it is. This is not an accident. This is karma. And karma you can't think of without Ishvara. There is Bhagavan's presence in this upadhi that everybody has. Everybody, very few people say, I am okay with my body. Always there is something wrong. If you have curly hair, what do you want to do? Straighten it. If you have straight hair, what do you want to do? Curl it. Why? I don't know, but this is how it is. Yeah, and in America also, if they have blonde hair, they want to make it brown. And then if they have brown hair, what do they want to do? Make it blonde. And if you say, I am blonde, that means you're saying I am a bunch of yellow hair. That's all you're saying. So these kinds of, the upadhi is not accidental. It is God-given, and to discover the second aspect of Swadharma means to discover what is it that I am supposed to do in this universe by way of contribution. What am I supposed to contribute? This is the second component of Swadharma, and because the Raga Dveshas are so very prominent, this goes away undiscovered. Many people die away without knowing what their Swadharma was, and then what? Only to be born again to discover Swadharma again. Sometimes it's very clear. Mozart, who was humming his first composition when he was 9 months old, no-brainer. He was supposed to be filled with music. And then Van Gogh was supposed to paint. There was no other possibility there. But in most other people it is not clear. Why? Because there is no one quality that stands out, one thing to do that stands out, and sometimes a person is jack of all trades and everything starts to get appealing, plus there is an overlay of ragadveshas. The one who is good at something says, I don't feel like it. But you are so good at it. No, I don't want to do it. What do you want to do? I want to go dancing instead. Yeah. I want to do something else. But this comes effortlessly to you. This is what Arjuna is being told up till verse 50. This is Sukhinaha Kshatriyaha Partha Labhante Yuddham Idrisham. A lucky Kshatriya to get this kind of a dharmic war. And you are sitting here saying what? I will not fight. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavritam. Which verse? Quickly. We have seen this, okay? Yeah. Quick. Look it up. For yourself, not for me. Yeah. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavritam sukhinaha kshatriyah partha labhante yuddham idrisham. 32. And so this is very important. This Arjuna is very dear to all of us because we have resonance there. Everybody doesn't want to do something that is yadrichya. Yadrichaya upapannam, that which is gotten by chance without asking for it, this has come. This something to be done is here. And what do you say? I don't feel like, I don't want to do, I have something else to do. At 2 years old, the child learns one of the first word. Maybe ma or mummy or amma is the first word. After that, the second word the child learns is no. Yeah, the 2-year-old learns no. And this no is not even given up at deathbed, I tell you. And this is the interruption here. Swadharma cannot be discovered as long as the whole life is what? No. 2, 12, no. 22, no. 32, no. 52, no. 72, no. 92, no. Gone. Okay? The first word was no. Last word is also what? No. Karma Yoga means learning to be in the yes more than the no. That is how growth happens. Why? Because you don't want to say yes. Nobody wants to say yes. Who wants to clean up the whole ashram? Not me. Certainly not. You look around. Anybody else is raising their hands? Not me. This is what it is. We are used to know. This is what is Apasmara's stance. Apasmara is the small little ninja underneath the foot of Lord Dakshinamurti. And this Apasmara haunts by memory and by bad memories, and if you look closer, in one hand sword, in another hand shield, defensive and offensive. Everybody has an uncontrolled apasmara inside the inner antahkarana. Inside the infrastructure there is apasmara, and this the taming of this apasmara is what is achieved through karma yoga, upon which is incumbent my discovery of Ishvara. When I know what I am supposed to do, and it need not be one thing, it can be many things. But at least start doing one thing. In order to do even one thing which I am supposed to do, I have to get out of saying no mentally to saying yes. I have to learn to be in acceptance. Overriding the raga dveshas, I learn to be in acceptance of this body, mind, sense complex, and what is it that is put in front of me to do. Oh, but I can't accept. I'm not going to accept. Okay, here is a hack. You know hack? Hack means a quick fix. What is the hack for non-acceptance? I will ask you to kindly accept your non-acceptance. Can you do that? No. Okay, no problem. Can you accept the non-acceptance of your non-acceptance? No. Then we'll be here. We have time. Okay, we can be here. Yeah. We can keep saying until I wear you out, and one time you say, all right, I will accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance. I will accept. Oh, good. Then you only have 7 more non-acceptances to go. We are on the right track. This is what, even non-acceptance, I have to accept, I have to see that. Then it doesn't become my non-acceptance. I have already given it to Ishvara, you see. If I accept what is, and what is Ishvara, Ishvara has already come into my life in a very surprising and unexpected way through my own non-acceptance, my resistance. And you can tell Bhagavan, why you have made me so stubborn? You can tell Bhagavan, you can ask, why am I such a mandu? Why am I so stubborn? Why don't I understand this? My resistance I offer unto you. My fears I offer unto you. My non-acceptance is offered unto you. If I offer my non-acceptance at the altar that accepts everything, what happened to the non-acceptance? It's accepted. It's disappeared. It's no longer there. This is why this the second definition of Karma Yoga is very, 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 very important to understand, because it completes the definition. And such a beautiful couple of definitions. One has to do with how I accept the results of action, the attitude in which I accept the results of action, which is equanimity, and the other one has to do with what choices do I make while acting. What norms govern my choice? So the first definition has to do with the attitude, second definition has to do with the action itself. If this much is understood, we can look at the Bhashya. So, Buddhi Yuktaha. Buddhi Yuktaha doesn't mean full of buddhi here. What does it mean? Buddhi Yuktaha means, I'm just looking at the verse now, okay? Buddhi Yuktaha means Karma Yoga Buddhi, Buddhya Yuktaha. The one that has Karma Yoga Buddhi, the Buddhi towards Karma Yoga. Jahati. Jahati, iha means in this life, right now, here itself. Jahati from ha. Ha, third conjugation. Third conjugation verbs are very funny because they have this duplication. Ha, ha, and then jaha plus ti, jahati. So jahati means gives up. Gives up what? Ubhe, both. Sukrita, dushkrite. Sukrita means good actions. Dushkrita means bad actions. What do the good actions lead to? Whoever said Papa, see me after class. Okay? Yeah. What does Sukrita lead to? Punya. What does Dushkrita lead to? Papa. So here, what does the person do? Gives up the penchant for Papa Punya. Because the person who has internalized the first definition of Karma Yoga, evenness towards the result of action, is no longer interested in Papa Punya. One is not a Punya-holic. I have to get this Punya, I have to, reduce Papa. It is not there. It is not there at all. I have to do this, I have to do that. Not there. And then when this Papa Punya is given up, or the desire for Papa Punya when it is given up, one rises to a higher vantage point of what to want. And what to want is harmony, Shanti. And that Shanti comes only to the person who is able to do this. But if one is mired in the Papa Punya pursuits, then this higher vantage point is not available. And so, Ubhe Sukrita Dushkrite Tyaktva Hitva, then what happens? Tasmat Yogaya Yujyasva. Yujyasva means get joined. Get connected to Karma Yoga because there is nothing else there. Get connected to Karma Yoga. Yogaya yujyasva. Get hitched on to yoga. Karma Yoga. Why? What is this yoga? Yoga karmasu kaushalam. And this is not just from the Bhagavad Gita. This has, if one says the Upanishad doesn't mention Karma Yoga, that's not true. Even the word Kushala is there. Satyam vada dharmanchara swadhyaya anma pramadaha acharyaya priyandhanam datva prajatantum ma vyavachhetsihi satyanna pramaditavyam dharmanna pramaditavyam kushalanna pramaditavyam. Kushalanna pramaditavyam. Dharma was already mentioned. Dharmat na pramaditavyam. Don't swerve from dharma. That should have been enough. But dharma is to be interpreted. That's how we know. Kushalat na pramaditavyam. Don't give up the ability to interpret this dharma. That kushalasya bhava, that abstract noun of kushala is kaushalam here. Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita does not make up anything on its own. It's all Upanishad. It's all coming with the stamp of the primary texts. Kushalat na pramaditavyam. And then means do not be neglectful. May there be no neglect of this kushala. So tasmat, therefore, yogaya yujyasva. Quickly get hitched on to this karma yoga. What is this karma yoga? What is the second definition? Yoga karmasu kaushalam. We have seen that. So we have seen what this kaushalam is. Bhashya. Buddhi yuktaha. Samatva vishayaya buddhya yuktaha. So buddhi yuktaha means equipped with the first definition of karma yoga, which was that evenness of attitude. Samatva buddhya yuktaha. Buddhi yuktaha. What does the person do? Endowed with evenness towards greeting the results of action. Jahati parityajati. All round gives up. Iha means what? Right now in this body. Asmin loke. Don't say, I will give up my likes and dislikes in the next life. No, this life. It is right now. Iha means asmin loke. Ubhe sukruta dushkrite. Adi Shankara translates as punya pape. Punya pape hitva sattva shuddhi jnana prapti dvarena yataha. Means when you cast off the sukrita dushkrita can be taken in two ways. First is punya papa, and another thing is also one's own judgment, which converts the world into a dyad. This is good and this is bad. This good bad. This good bad is very difficult, and because it is subjective, it is notional. Because what is good, what is bad? You can say that this is good because I am benefiting from it. This is bad because I don't like it. You cannot do that. So therefore, the higher vantage point is when you give up the notions of good and bad, when you give up the notions of what is that, karma phala, sukrita, dushkrita, then punya, papa, then what happens? Sattva shuddhi jnana prapti dvarena yataha. Means there is the rise of sattvika buddhi in oneself. And what does this sattvika buddhi do? It helps one to go to the path of knowledge. Jnana prapti dvara. So sattva, the sattva comes, sattva shuddhi comes because one is in acceptance of what there is to do. One has accepted to override the raga dvesha, which says this is good, this is bad, this I want, this I don't want. And pressing the override button on the raga dvesha, where does one go? to a sattvic mind. And why is that sattvic mind free of raga dvesha important? Because that is the portal, the door to what? Atma Jnanam. That is the door to Atma Jnanam. That's why if you bring a pickpocket to satsang, what will happen? Will anything go in? Nothing will go in. Everybody is contemplative in satsang. Pickpocket is also contemplating. On what? On your wallet. Yeah, that is the focus of the contemplation. Nothing will go in because the obsession with what is wanting and not wanting is there. The obsession with adharma is there. So here, what I have to do is in keeping with dharma. What I don't have to do is also in keeping with dharma. So this dharma, adharma is not even two different things for me. Adharma is completely dropped. All that is there is internalized is dharma. Number one. Number two, the action itself is not done out of raga dvesha. It is done because it needs to be done. I grow from being a person that likes to do something to a person that likes to do whatever there is to do. I grow from being a person that wants to do something to a person that likes whatever there is to do. Because I can't do as I like always. Think about your own life. When are you able to do whatever you like? You would like to stay in bed till 10 o'clock. But what does the ashram say? Wake up at 5. This is starting with that. You can't do as you want to do. And so, you learn to like whatever that needs to be done. Very beautiful definition. So, Jnana Prapti Dvarena Yataha. So this is why it is important, because it leads you to knowledge. This kind of an attitude indirectly leads you to knowledge, because then only the knowledge will shine in this kind of a sattva buddhi. Tasmat samatva buddhi yogaya yujyasva. So the yujyasva means please hitch yourself to the wagon of dharma, to the wagon of evenness. And then this evenness, equanimity of mind, and you please do that. Why? Yogo hi karmasu kaushalam. And yoga hi karmasu kaushalam. He just repeats what is there in the stanza, and then he explains swadharmakhyeshu karmasu vartamanasya ya siddhya siddhyayoho samatva buddhihi ishvararpita chetastaya tat kaushalam kushala bhavah. Fantastic definition. So yoga, what is this yoga here? The second definition, in the person who is karmasu vartamanasya, the one who is doing action. What kind of action? The action called swadharma. Swadharmakhyeshu karmasu vartamanasya ya buddhi. That kind of a mind. Which kind of a mind? Siddhya siddhyoho samatva buddhi. That mind which sees the success and failure as what? As equal. And understands that my definition of success and my definition of failure is extremely what? Extremely ephemeral, based on my own likes and dislikes. So having given up the likes and dislikes, the one that is engaged in whatever one has to do, swadharmakhyeshu karmasu vartamanasya, the one that is doing what is needing to be done, ya buddhi, ya samatva buddhi, samatva with regard to siddhi and asiddhi. What is that? It says it is a buddhi, that buddhi you cannot have unless that buddhi is dedicated to Bhagavan. Otherwise it's impossible to have sameness. That's why this definition completes it, because it brings in Ishvara. This definition totally completes Karma Yoga, because it brings in Bhagavan. So because I cannot not strive for good and bad, I cannot not have raga dveshas, I cannot not be obsessed with punya papa, unless I have invited Ishvara into my life. How do I invite Ishvara into my life? What is there? You have to print out an invitation and an email or SMS. Ishvara, come into my life. More or less, that's what it takes. The awareness of Ishvara in matters of something that is so intimate to me, which is what? Karma, my own karma, which I thought I was the author of, my own norms, dharma and adharma. This is where it is very easy to miss the presence of Ishvara. Easy it is, to recognize the presence of Ishvara even in the trees and in the water, in the mountains. You go and say, oh, look at this lovely creation of Ishvara. I see Ishvara in everything. Except where? In myself. Like the 10th man, you know the story of the 10th man. Who was the 10th man? Forgot to count himself. Forgot to count himself. Like the Dashamaha, Dashamavat, like the person who forgot to count himself. Here, I see Ishvara everywhere. I see Ishvara in you, I see Ishvara in you, I see Ishvara in the sky, in this wonderful rainy sky. I see Ishvara in Mother Earth. I see Ishvara in the trees. I see Ishvara in the breeze. Where do I not see Ishvara? In that same Antahkarana, which is seeing Ishvara everywhere except right here. So this Ishvara has to be understood up close and personal, and the most intimate thing to me is my own attitude and my own action. This is where Ishvara has to be invited for there to be a transformation from being a ragadvesha based person to a person who is dedicated to this knowledge. And so this is where if the Ishvara is missing here, how to bring Ishvara here? Bhagavad Gita says, Lord Krishna says, very easy, very easy. I am the norm, make me the norms in your heart based on which you choose the actions. Make me the choice in your actions. Feature me in choosing your actions. You can never go wrong. And then dedicate all the disappointments and the fears and tears that come when something asiddhi comes, when something you don't want comes, dedicate it back to me, the Lord says. And therefore this is a very powerful set of verses, 48 to 50, because it can, if you take this seriously, it can transform the life totally. It can transform the life. And then so Ishvararpita Chetastaya, meaning with the heart that is given to Ishvara. And then Tat Kaushalam Kushala Bhavaha. This is Kaushalam, this is the skill. This is the skill. It is not skill in action, means how to pick somebody's pocket or how to do something. The skill is in interpreting dharma. The skill is in choosing that action which is appropriate dharmically, appropriate in this particular time and space, Vishesha dharma, and then appropriate for me, Samanya dharma. The Pujya Swamiji used to tell one story. Two fellows went to the Guru to get blessings to get married. And then one fellow came out wreathed in smiles. Guru put his hand on my head and said, Jao, get married, wonderful, very happy. And the other one also very happily went inside thinking, Arey, if this one has got permission, I will also get permission. The other one came out with a long face in tears. Guru said, absolutely not. Why? Because you are unemployed and you are unemployable also. And so fix that first. Learn to take care of that first. And so therefore the dharma is different in each situation. Dharma is different. So my own swadharma, what is it that I have to do, varies from person to person. And even with the same person, what is right to do today may not be right to do tomorrow. When one was 4 years old, it was perfectly okay to have a tantrum in front of the toy shop. Mother, father take you to the toy shop, get only one thing. And what do you want? The whole shop you want, okay? You can't choose one thing, so instead you have decide to have a tantrum. You throw yourself on the floor and you go like this, the legs and hands are flailing and the lungs are big, voice is coming. And then what? Now you are 52, okay? Yeah. Now you did not get what you want. Is it appropriate to have the tantrum? No, it's not appropriate. It's not Vishesha Dharma. It's not okay. That's why children have tantrums, adults have meltdown. Which is perhaps a little more of a private affair. Okay? And so Swadharma means what is appropriate to me, what is appropriate considering the situation, what is appropriate universally. That is Swadharma. And then, so Swadharmakhyeshu, and here if you don't bring in Ishvara, this growth cannot happen. Because where are you going to take all the disappointments, all the fears, all the pains, all the sorrows? Somewhere you have to take. Where will you take them? How will you live otherwise? So therefore he says, Tadhi kaushalam yat bandhasvabhavini api karmani samatva buddhya swabhavat nivartante. Very beautifully put. Tadhi kaushalam. This is kaushalam. What is kaushalam? Even though the actions are bandhasvabhavini karmani, actions are of a binding nature. Why? Because of the penchant for karma phala and all these things, which even though on paper I know what to do, it's very difficult to actually accomplish. But if Ishwararpana buddhi is there, according to this definition, the karma does not become binding. Why does it not become binding? It becomes a nimitta, an excuse or an instrument for your own self-growth, which will lead you to knowledge. That is why it is not binding. So, swabandha swabhavani api karmani, even though the actions may be of a binding nature, if it is done with Ishwararpana buddhi and the evenness of taking acceptance, it will not bind. Why? Because now it is in Ishwara's hands. This we have to see. It is in Ishwara's hands. It is no longer my problem. My resistance, my non-acceptance, my fears, my blocks, my not wanting to do something that has to be done. What have I done? Ishwararpana buddhi, I have given my non-acceptance also to Ishvara. I have given my stubbornness to Ishvara. And therefore what? Now it is Ishvara's problem. But you can't just say, I am giving it to you and then do whatever you want. No. The surrender has to be genuine. And in this phase of genuine surrender, which is an act of worship through one's own work, then what happens is that this is what is kushala. This binding action also becomes non-binding. There is no such thing as binding action. And then, because, next one, karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinah janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya namayam. So, karmajam, born of karma. Born of karma. Karmajam goes with the word phalam. Karmajam phalam tyaktva, having given up the fruits born of action. Who are these people? Manishinaha, the wise people. Manisha is wisdom. Manishinaha means the wise people. What do the wise people do? Phalam tyaktva manishinaha. How? Buddhi yukta. Buddhi yukta means the manishinaha buddhi yukta. So those wise people enjoy, enjoying equanimity, endowed with Ishwararpana buddhi. What do? They forego the results of action and then in renouncing the results of action, what do they also renounce? They renounce samsara itself. Janma bandha vinirmuktaha. They become free from the bondage of birth, death, death, birth, death, birth. In the Kathopanishad, as we have seen, it says, Mrityoho samrityum gacchati, yaha nana iva pashyati. Because if you say birth, cycle, rebirth, people don't understand. They say samsara is not so bad. What do you do when a child is born? You go, oh, how sweet, how cute, how lovely, and you distribute fruits and sweets and everything. And everybody wants to come and play with the child. So birth to birth if you go, if the Upanishad says, then it is not understood properly. That's why the Kathopanishad, in a nice pun, because who is the teacher of Kathopanishad? Mrityu. Mrityu says, Mrityoho samrityum apnoti. Mrityoho samrityum apnoti, yaha nana iva pashyati. The person goes from not birth to birth, but what? Death to death. Now you have now the heart sinks into the stomachs and gets digested also. One death also is fearful. Oh my God. Will I linger? Oh, I don't want to linger because people will stop taking care of me. Who will be there? Everybody will get upset. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to linger. Okay. Lord Yama says, all right, car accident here for you. Right here. Drive. And then this will be the last long drive you take. And then what will the person say? No, no, no. How will I say goodbye? I haven't said goodbye. Sudden death not acceptable. Lingering death not acceptable. And death also is not acceptable. So therefore one death is itself so terrible. One doesn't know whether one will be bedridden, one will have stroke, paralysis, so many things will be vikalanga. Vikalanga means without some anga, without some organ. One doesn't know whether one will be a parasite, living off of others. One doesn't know if I live so long that all my savings are gone. We don't know. And so therefore it says, from death to death you go to bring you out of samsara. The Upanishad, Kathopanishad says the person goes from death to death. One death itself is so non-acceptable, and so imagine going from death to death. That's why we have the perfect retirement plan. Pujya Swamiji's perfect retirement plan. What is that? Sannyasa. School yourself in this life to not want too much. And then live happily. Whatever you comes is a bonus. Fantastic. Live without you don't keep on accumulating money and resources. You shed the desires so that you then don't need money and resources. This is the very nice, very sane plan. Very sane retirement plan. Because otherwise you don't know how much, savings you need in this day of inflation. Nothing is enough. So therefore, karmajam phalam tyaktva hu buddhi yukta manishinaha. Buddhi yuktaha manishinaha. Buddhi yuktaha goes with manishinaha. The people endowed with this kind of a karma yoga buddhi, which is what? Twofold in number. First is the evenness of accepting the results of action. Second is surrendering the action itself to Ishvara, bringing Ishvara into one's life and making my actions in alignment with Ishvara's universe. This is something which is also very important. We have spoken of it, but we can speak of it a little more. Making my actions in alignment with what is. Because whether we want it or not, there is a flow. We talked about it today in the morning class. There is a flow. Ishvara's flow is there. Bhishasmad vataf pavate. The wind blows in response to whose ajna? In response to whose vision? Wind blows, rain flows, rivers flow. Sun comes out. Weather change. All this is already taken care of. This is what we call the flow. in this flow, I am there or not? I am also there. I cannot say I am outside the flow. Even to be able to say I am outside the flow, you should be in the flow. You are in the flow enough to say I am outside the flow. And so therefore, nothing is outside this flow. From the level of Vyavaharika, nothing is outside this flow. So this I, the one that is endowed with this body, mind, sense complex, is also inside this flow. And in this, there is a kind of a courtesy that I accord. What is the courtesy? Did I make this flow? No. Therefore, what should I do? I should not disrupt this flow. And how to not disrupt this flow? Dharma. That is the flow. That dharma, when I accept and when I follow in my life, I do not disrupt the flow. The third chapter is going to say, we'll see it in the next course. What is that? Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sangina. And so the flow is so delicate that I don't disturb it. Suppose I have atmajnanam. I am an enlightened person, you can say. And if you say that, if you say, I am an enlightened person and therefore what am I going to do? I am going to go outside the ashram where everybody is eating pani puri and doing other things there. And I am going to distribute Bhagavad Gita knowledge, distribute Upanishad knowledge. And then you will tell them, they are about to go like this, with the pani puri is about to go into the mouth, and that blessed dish, you have to eat the whole thing, okay? You can't say, I'll have little by little. You have to eat the whole thing. So they are about to eat it, and then you say to them, hey, what are you doing? Catch their hand. Don't. Now they are a dripping pani puri mess is there in the hand. You say, no, don't eat this. This is all aihika sukha. This is all just worldly pleasures. What are you doing? Just come 2 steps here. Svatmavidyananda ashram. Why should I come? Why are you eating this? So that I'll be happy. No, I'll give you a better happiness, bigger happiness. No, but what about my job? Don't worry, leave your job. Come to the course. Enjoy. And then what will happen? They will be the saddest people. They will be sad ananda. Sad ananda they will be. Why? Because they will become what is called ubhaya bhrashta. Ubhaya bhrashta means little pani puri happiness which they were having, that also gone, and then they are not even able to adjust to this life. They have no desire for the knowledge, mired as they are in the raga dveshas. And then the sensitivity to the flow is described in the verses 10 to 16 of chapter 3, very beautiful verses, how to recognize and go be part of the flow. And there it says, later on it's going to say in the 22nd, 23rd verse, na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam. Karma sanginam means those who have karma asakti. They are wedded to karma. And why? Because they have ajnanam. What kind of ajnanam? Atma ajnanam. Such people don't disturb. Don't try to distribute your knowledge and say, come to the bright side. Why are you in tamas? You are in tamas. Oh, but you are teaching us every day. Yes, I am teaching. Swamiji is teaching. Why? Because you decided to deliver yourselves here. That is why we are teaching. We are not going around teaching. It says, even in the Kathopanishad, it will say, do not give this to a non-contemplative person. Do not give this. So, na avirato duscharitat, the one who has not returned from wrong ways, adharma, or the one who has not given up the raga dvesha, there is no point in teaching them. See, the flow is so, we are so respectful of the flow that we don't even teach the people who are not ready for this knowledge, so that we don't disturb the flow. Bhagavan has a plan for them. And so we let that be. Let everything be. The karma yogi lets everything be. So therefore, the flow is Ishvara. I learn to go along with the flow. I become a manishin. Manishin means a wise person. not only I give up the karma, but in giving up the karma and the karma phala, in giving up the karma phala, I become free of samsara. How do I become free of samsara? Through this getting ready for the knowledge. Indirectly first free of samsara, and then directly free of samsara after dedicating oneself to the knowledge. And so therefore, what does it say here? Bhashya, karmajam phalam tyaktva iti vyavahitena sambandha. So karmajam, and where is the phalam? After 3 words, phalam comes. Correct? Karmajam, buddhi yukta, hi, and then phalam comes. And Adi Shankara gives us a sweet grammar lesson and says karmajam should go with the word phalam. Karmajam, born of karma. Karmana jayate iti karmaja. And then karmajam phalam, karmajam, the word karmajam goes with phalam. And that is what has to be given up, tyaktva. Okay? And then ishta anishta deha praptihi karmajam phalam. So ishta anishta deha praptihi karmajam phalam. Karmabhyo jatam buddhi yuktaha samatva buddhi yuktaha hi yasmat phalam tyaktva parityajya manishinaha jnaninaha bhutva janma karma janma bandha vinirmuktaha janma eva, no, this much is enough, jnaninaha, up till then we'll take. So who are these manishinahas? These are jnanis. What have they understood? They have renounced the outcome, the results of action. Why? Because it becomes ishta anishta deha praptihi. It becomes the cause for gaining a body. What kind of a body? A beloved body in some cases. And then a hated body in other cases. Why is it a beloved body? Because some people are like that. Some people have nothing wrong with their bodies. They can eat a stone and digest it also, no problem, nothing. Yeah. Nothing happens. The digestive system is just like God given something. And then what? They are very proportionate. The body is very, very proportionate. Exactly how it is. Lord Rama was apparently like that. Usually what happens, if you draw a line from here, from the top of the forehead all the way here like this, and then make a left half of the face and the right half of the face, mostly with one half of the face will be slightly different from the other half. One eye will be smaller, other eye will be bigger, one side of the lips will be drooping this side, the other side will be upturned, something will be there. But it is very imperceptible, you cannot tell. But everybody has it. Except Lord Rama. Lord Rama did not have it because the Samudrika Lakshana means the people who do face reading, etc. They tell that for Lord Rama, in the Shastra it is written that the left side of his face was like a cloned from the right side was the clone of the left side. There was no everything, proportions of how high, how long the hands should be, how long the torso should be. Sometimes the legs are short and the torso is long for certain people. And for some other people, the legs are very long and the torso is tiny. And no, for Lord Rama, everything was equal. So it was because he was Bhagavan in Avatara. So therefore, that is a very big exception. And so everybody is not an Avatara. So what will the body be like? One side will not match the other side. So, Ishta body, some people are maybe models, grow up to be models, what is that, Miss Universe, Miss India, etc. Other people are what? Not happy with their body. Ishtanishta deha prapti nimitta. So, this rebirth is what? Not only they go from death to death, but when they are born, they are getting either an Ishta body or Anishta body. Why? Because this is born of karma. Karmebhyaha jatam. This is because of karma. And so what do the jnanis do? they get rid of the penchant for or the addiction to karma phala, they get rid of it completely, and then they janma eva bandhaha janma bandhaha. So it is not the bondage of birth, it is the bondage that is in the form of birth. Tena vinirmuktaha jivantaha eva. They become free of birth and death even while in this life they are jivan muktas. Jivantaha eva santaha padam paramam vishnoho mokshakyam gachanti anamayam sarva upadrava rahitam ityarthaha. Sarva upadrava rahitam means padam gachanti. Anamayam padam. Padam means what? Padam is destiny, the destination. What is the destination? Destination is the same as the sojourner, the person who is undertaking the journey, and the destination are one. Why? Because you are what you seek. But so, padam gachanti doesn't mean they go to Vaikuntha, they go to Kailasa. No. Some of the other sampradayas, that's how they will interpret. They will say, oh, Vishnu ke paas chale gaya. He's gone to Vishnu, she's gone to Shiva. No, it's not a place. This moksha, that's why mokshakyam padam is the place, the temperament or the enlightenment, what is this padam? This destination is myself alone, called moksha, brahmakyam, mokshakyam. So this is what is called pada. And then Vishnoho paramam padam, Vishnu's eternal abode or ultimate abode, it is said here. And if you read elsewhere, even in the Kathopanishad Bhashya, Adi Shankara says Vishnoho paramam padam is Vishnu. The word Vishnu is analyzed properly. It's not Mahavishnu. It is Vishnu as the word Vishnu ishnuch pratyaya. The suffix is called ishnuch, which has the sense forever. Santata bhava is there forever. So vyapnoti, apnoti, vyapnoti iti Vishnuhu. That which is all pervasive is Vishnu. Vishnoho paramam padam means that place which is not really a place, that being, that beingness which is all pervasive consciousness. So Vishnoho paramam padam means I become one with this all pervasive consciousness. I was already one, but I understand that I am one with this all pervasive consciousness. And then what is this place? Anamayam. Amaya means sorrow, afflictions, pains. And anamaya means sarva upadrava rahitam, free of all pains and sorrows, free of afflictions, which is what? My own disposition. You see how from karma yoga to jnanam, it's a very quick way. Even though people think it's a what is that? Jnana yoga is moksha express. I drop everything and I study, it's moksha express. Whereas karma yoga, there are many stops. What are the stops? Education, one stop. Job, another stop. Marriage, very long stop. Okay. Children, one more stop. And then their children and their children and their children. Stop. You know, this is what one thinks. But according to Adi Shankara and the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself, this karma yoga is a very quick way to gain moksha. Why? Because in karma yoga, the temperament is changed. One's own disposition becomes a very pleasant and cheerful disposition, not easily rattled. Why? Because the ragadveshas have been overridden. I am doing what I have to do. I am not doing what I want to do. There is emotional maturity. So I already have cheerfulness. I am already not rattled. And then for such a person, few upadeshas of Tattvamasi is enough. Then they will go away saying, Triptoham, Kritakrityoham. I have done everything that I have wanted. I don't need anything else. So, Karma Yoga cannot be bypassed. As the 5th chapter will say, Sannyasastu Mahabaho Dukkham Aptum Ayogatah Yoga Yukta Munir Brahma Nachirena Adhigachati. Because he asked for sannyasa. Who? Our Arjuna. And the Lord says it is very difficult. Sannyasastu Mahabaho Dukkham Aptum. It's very difficult to understand and live the spirit of sannyasa. Ayogatah, for the one not equipped with yoga, karma yoga. Yoga yuktaha, the one equipped and endowed with karma yoga, one leading a life of karma yoga, na chirena munihi brahma gacchati, gains Brahman very quickly. This kind of a person one has to be. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.